Right.
and that's what I've done for most of my life. And hey, I'm 38 and I'm still going.
Right. Well, that is so good. You're absolutely right. So when you go to these, parties and these these receptions, um is it easy for you to tell what you should play if you don't already know? Is it kind of easy for you to guess what the people would want to hear? I guess that's my question.
Well, typically if I'm doing a dance, I mean a wedding or a birthday party or something of that nature, um, the party had already decided what song they want played. So if they already know what they want played, that's easy. What's really challenging is when some Joe Smoke comes up to me and says, "Hey, I want the Beastie Boys," and I don't have that in my playlist. So because of my disability, I'm not very good. I'm not a very good speller,
Right.
and and well, that's not because of my disability, but but what is part of my disability is my spasticity, and when I'm DJing, I got 5 or 6 things going on at once. I'm mixing. I'm trying to load the next track. I'm trying to, manage the lights. All these things are happening at once. And then, you ask for a request. On top of that, it just whoa, a little bit too much. And
Hmm.
well,
Hmm.
what
So maybe you at home, listener, the next time you go to a party and you see a DJ, maybe you kind of shouldn't say, "Hey, can you play? Would you please play this?" Because it sounds
uh,
like that would be kind of, for many DJs, it sounds like that would be kind of tricky. That would be, it's not, it wouldn't be really rude, but it sounds like something we probably shouldn't say that because it sounds like it's kind of difficult for a
well,
DJ to,
well,
yeah.
actually, for the average DJ, it's not that hard to do.
Right.
But for me, because I'm only one-handed, because my left hand didn't work that well. I'm doing everything with one hand, and typing with one hand takes a while. So, um, trying to look for a song is kind of cumbersome, and I'm not saying that I can't. It just takes a little while to do. So, so, um, yeah, it's okay to ask, but just be ready for the word no or not right now. And you can ask for anything that you want. Just be just be ready for the word no.
Right, right. I think that is good advice for many things in life. Yes, be ready for the word no and be ready to accept that as an answer if they just seem too overwhelmed. But I mean, have you ever gotten into a situation, I guess, where you're at an event and the audience just dislikes your music, just everything?
No, I haven't had that, but what I have had is that I would mix in a song that doesn't go together, and I would kill the vibe, you know, and that's the worst feeling ever because you got the people going, you got the people, wound up, and then all of a sudden you killed vibe, and everybody goes sat down, and that's the worst thing ever. Because
Yeah.
because you try to get the momentum back, and that's really hard to do.
Yeah, yeah, that would be tricky.
Yeah.
So how would you like get the mood back up or elevate the mood again?
Just do your best to play the right songs.
Right, right.
Hmm.
I don't know, for me, Chris, with the music I listen to, I'm all over the world, Sometimes I'm in the States, then I listen to reggae, then classical, then baroque, then some music from Africa, Europe, Middle East. I'm kind of all over, and I was not always like that. But I am 29 years old, and well, throughout my life, I guess, my music has kind of expanded. Um, you know, you know what other music I love. Now, of course, I can't, um, for obvious reasons, I can't say what it's called out. I'm not gonna get into a thing where I start naming songs. That's not a good idea. But I love all of that like bumper music that's like used in TV shows or
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
a lot of that vlog music, that's on
yeah,
YouTube. I mean,
yeah.
I could go to a party. I'm funny about this. I could go to a party, which I guess I'm kind of lying because I've never been to a party. But I mean, in a perfect world, I could go to a party.
You've never been to a party?
I tell you, Chris, I live in an undisclosed location in the world somewhere. I cannot give out my location for personal reasons. It's a bit of a long story. Um, everyone, life is hard, and I've had, some significant challenges in my life as a blind person. And one of the challenges is, here in the States, a lot of your social experience heavily depends on where you live. Well, if you live in a more rural community, you just don't get into a social scene, So for me, I've never really been social.
So,
But
so, so let me change
sure, sure,
let me change gears for a second. Um, I got a question for you.
sure. Ask me all of your
Um,
questions, Chris. Go ahead.
so you mentioned as yourself as a blind person. The way that we would say in the disability community is a person with a disability or a person who has a disability. But the person before the disability. Is there a reason or how different people say it or do?
Excellent. I'm happy to talk to you about it. So listener, just to clarify, to make sure I'm understanding you, Chris, you were
Uh-huh.
wondering why I just said you're an excellent guest and an outstanding listener. You're wondering why I said I'm a blind person and why I didn't say I'm a person who happens to be blind. And you're wondering
Yeah.
why I said I'm a blind person. It's a really good. Thank you for asking me. I said it because I am, because I'm proud of it. It's who I am. I am a person who happens to be blind, but it's life. So I'm blind. I'm a blind person.
Mm.
Yeah. That's how I go about it. And I think everyone in the disability community goes about it a little bit differently.
Yeah. That is true. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. But that was good. That was a good question, and that was a good catch to ask me about that. Sure. Sure. But
Yeah.
yeah, sure,
You
sure.
know, and the reason I asked you
Yeah.
is, I teach about this stuff.
Good.
So I want to make sure that I'm teaching the right stuff.
That's good. And the fact that you interjected and asked that question when you're the guest on someone else's podcast, that shows me that you're knowledgeable about it. If you knew that you had to bring that up, that shows me that you have a lot of knowledge about this particular thing. So, yes. Mhm.
Cool. Um, um, so, let me talk about a little bit about my public speaking, if I
Sure.
would.
Of course,
Um,
we have about 4.5 minutes, and then we're going to pause for a minute. So go right ahead.
Great. And give me about a 30-second
Okay, good.
warning.
Got you. Go ahead.
Um um so my public speaking, like I mentioned, started in 7th grade. And then um I thought I was really good. I thought it was really hot. And then I met this guy who is my mentor, and we've been working together for the last 6 years. And he actually has a background in music promotion. He worked with very famous people. And now he's working with me. and, and, and he worked at Capitol and Epic Records, and he and we worked really hard. We worked non-stop on it. I thought I had to get. This is really important, guys. I thought that I had to understand everything the first time and move on. Well, guess what? I don't learn that way. It takes me about 5 or 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times of repetition before I get the subject. And it took me years to understand this. But it doesn't matter how long it takes me or you, how many repetitions it takes to get the information. All that matters is that you get the information and that you can regurgitate it. That's the only thing that matters. And that's what started my emotional fear and pain speech, because I didn't realize how much fear and how much pain I had until I got into counseling and talking to people about I have this problem, you have it too. I'm not so different than you. Oh, I didn't know that. No, there's a power in the phrase "me too." Because if it's me too, then I'm not dealing with this emotion by myself. I can lean on other people and say, hey, can you help me with this problem? And rely on other people. Don't do it on yourself.
That's exactly. Very good, very good. Well, by the way, everybody, he's Chris Benedict. I'm Aaron Richmond. This is Aaron's Opinion, a podcast where we're definitely talking about issues in the blindness community. We're talking about music. We're talking about being a DJ, and we need to say, as we always like to do, we'll be right